He joins us each and every week at this time. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, as we talk to a man that was on fire. Hey, we brought it up last week. It was his Baker's dozen. And you want to know what he did? 11-3. Winning week in the UFC, which was his gift. That was a treat for you. And he hit that 50-unit UFC play. I got to tell you something, folks. This is what it's about. You try it. You like it. 11-3. Lee, that is a great record. Congratulations on that. I just wish that everybody could be 11-3 picking games every week. But that was you. And build off of that this week here on the show.
Well, as long as we go 11-3 again, I'll be happy. So it was fun. It wasn't a good week. It was a great week. Grateful. And I've gotten to see every college team 3 or 4 times so far and every NFL team 3 times. So feel pretty good about what we're seeing. We're not getting games canceled because of COVID.
That's right.
So a lot to be thankful for.
What do you think of that UTEP second half against New Mexico when they put the defensive clamps down and ended up winning their 3rd game of the season?
Maybe a bowl game. Who knows? So just got to keep playing hard and playing efficient. You know, if they stay away from turnovers and penalties, they're going to win a lot of games.
That's exactly. You know what? And let me ask you this. Okay, you said something really interesting. Staying away from turnovers and penalties. Doesn't it seem like that, in a sense, would probably be what 90% of all college football teams need to do in order to keep winning week after week?
Well, that's been one of the biggest problems for the Miners, over just dumb penalties, lining up off sides, illegal procedure. They've had so many big plays over the last 3 or 4 years called back that would have been big plays or touchdowns. And then they're giving opponents, a lot of times extra, possessions. I mean, there's been a bunch of times hit a guy out of bounds, 5 yards from a first down, just stupid, putting a shoulder into a guy, and you extend a drive and allow them to score. So, it's not just the most talented teams, it's the teams that play smart.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's why some of these teams are in the top, they're in the top 3, top 4 every year, because that's exactly what they do. Now, you've got good college games this week. Let's talk about one of the fun ones. Ole Miss is undefeated, 3-0. They're 12th in the nation. Alabama's 4-0. They're number 1 in the nation. They'll meet in Tuscaloosa. And as far as what we're going to go, I've seen it as high as 14.5, which is what we're going to be. Alabama 14.5, so that's more than 2 touchdowns. You tell me, number 1 against number 12. It's still Alabama at home. Is this about the right spread when you start to look at it?
So I'm studying and I'm grading players each week. 130 teams in college football. Where would you say that the Alabama offensive line grades out run blocking and pass blocking out of 130 teams?
Wow, that's a great question. I feel like this is a trick question and you're baiting me. So I will go, let's just say 40th.
I thought between 30 and 40. They grade out in my grading 63rd run blocking. Pro Football Focus has them 70th. In pass blocking, 73rd. I have them 75th. So
wow.
Now, the last couple of years, Mac Jones and Tua, they've had like clear open pockets. I could probably hit 60% of my passes with those offensive lines. Bryce Young has had to move around a little bit more, maneuver. And you saw in the second half, I had trouble against Florida. So they also got tired against Florida, did their defense. Ole Miss, they like to run a lot of plays. They run quick. In fact, 4th in the country out of 130 teams, most plays. They get off 90, 95 plays, could spell trouble here for Alabama. Ole Miss has shored up their defense. They were horrific last year. They gave up almost 50% third down conversions. This year, just 31%. Getting to the quarterback, they added a couple pieces there, a linebacker from Maryland, a kid named Chase Campbell. Much improved team here. And you got to think that Lane Kiffin, he's been game planning for this game probably since the summer. If he can sniff out a weakness, he's going to exploit it here. I love his quarterback, Matt Corral. He could be the Heisman frontrunner if they pull the upset. I think Alabama still is Alabama, and they're going to win the game. But I think the margin of victory is going to be closer. I think they win 45-42, but I'm going to take the 14.5 points here.
Saban's never lost to an assistant, has he?
All right. No. But this,
So, yeah.
if he's going to lose, this is going to be the first one.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Texas and TCU. That's going to be our next matchup. It'll be our second and final college football game this week. Longhorns are 3-1, coming off of a 70-point output thrashing against Tech last week. They are 1-0 in the Big 12. TCU is 2-1. This will be their first Big 12 game. It's in Fort Worth, and the Longhorns are 5-point favorites, probably because of what they did to Texas Tech last week. I don't expect 70 from the Longhorns every week, although this one has interesting possibilities because they both have good offensive potential.
They do. So if Casey Thompson has a big game, and let's say for some reason the Alabama-Ole Miss game is low scoring, he could be in the top 5 as far as Heisman consideration if they were to take a vote right now. This kid is good. They've been able to expand the playbook, got weapons. I think the play calling has been really good. I think the Horns are going to be up for this game. They've lost 2 straight and 4 or 5 against TCU. So just think that Texas is a big step up for TCU here in this game. Max Duggan has been solid, but I just think that Casey Thompson is electric. I think that's the difference. More playmakers here. I like Texas 42-31. I think Texas is for real. Defense isn't great, but the offense is special.
All right. We're talking right now with Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. As we continue here, let's move to the NFL. Rams, Arizona. This is going to be a fun one. It's a late game coming up on Sunday from Inglewood in SoFi Stadium. Rams, perfect, 3-0. Cards, perfect, 3-0. Cards are perfect on the road, 2-0 away. Rams are 2-0 at home. Rams are favored, 4 points in this one. Kyler Murray's off to a great start, but so has Matthew Stafford. This is the kind of game, as a football fan, I get excited about. What about you?
Me too. And I think Arizona's a little under the radar. Now, they made an acquisition in the offseason. People thought that they were going to maybe re-sign Kenyon Drake. Had a feeling they wouldn't. And the reason they didn't was he couldn't protect the quarterback. As a running back, stepping up in blitz support was not very good. That's why they got James Conner. So a lot of people, they'll look at stats and say, well, James Conner ran for 20, 30, 40 yards. He's not that good. Kyler Murray, as soon as he felt pressure the last couple of years, he was going right or left. This year, he's stepping up some into the pocket. He's got Rondell Moore. He finally got a really good slot receiver from Purdue. Really good kick returner, also punt and kick return. So he's dangerous. He's got 4 or 5 receivers. So by allowing and giving him that extra second or two to step up in the pocket, I think the offense is starting to mature. They're better on the road. I can't tell you why, but 12-5-2 last 19 games on the road here. I just don't think that the Rams can play their A game 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to call for the upset here. I like Arizona. And a high-scoring game here, 37-35.
All right, Lee, let's move on. SoFi, a little more than 24 hours after that Arizona Rams game, will host Monday Night Football with the Vegas Raiders coming to town. They're perfect at 3-0. Chargers are 2-1. 3.5 points. The LA Chargers are favored in this one. 2 teams that, again, are off to great starts right now in the AFC West. Can the Raiders stay undefeated after Monday night?
I think they can, but it's going to be tough. The margin to continue to be that good is going to be tough. Carr's averaging 401 passing yards a game. I mean, that's incredible. I don't know if he can keep it up against his secondary. Derwin James, I love as a strong safety. He'll be able to lock down on a tight end. Not many guys that can cover tight ends. I think Derwin James might be one of the best I've seen in the NFL. He's big, strong, fast, instinctive. So watch him, number 33, if you like watching defensive football. A lot of people just like to watch pass rushers, but he's a fun guy to watch. And then the offensive line for the Raiders, I still have some questions about that. If Jacobs is back and healthy, they're a dangerous offense, and they're scary good. But he's got a toe and an ankle injury. Even if he plays, I don't think he's 100%. For the Chargers, getting rid of Anthony Lynn, that's worth 3 or 4 wins. Upgraded their special teams and solidified their offensive line. So I love what they did in that game last week, going for it 4th down a couple of times. I think it sent a message to the team, and I I think the receivers are going to have a big game again. Give me the LA Superchargers 31-24.
That takes us to the final NFL game this week, Dallas and Carolina. Now, Carolina is perfect. They've been one of the surprises in the NFL this year behind Sam Darnold. It's amazing what happens getting out of the Jets and what that'll do for a player. Just ask Sam about that. Meanwhile, Dallas has the big win this past week on Monday night against Philadelphia, where they exploded defensively and offensively, clicked on all cylinders. They're back at home. It's an early game on Sunday. They're 4.5-point favorites over Carolina. Lee, how do you see it?
If you've been betting Dallas the last 10, 15 years, you're living under a bridge. I mean, they are fool's gold. They have had so many weaknesses, and I've been betting against them a lot. And they are usually horrific. 2-9 the last 11 games as a favorite. And Carolina 8-0 the last 8 road games. But things have changed. This Dallas team, they're getting to the quarterback, pass rush. And Darnold, as good as he is much improved, much more accurate. Still a little loosey-goosey with the ball in the pocket. Doesn't see the blind side, his left tackle, and the pass rush from that side sometimes. And also holding the ball in the pocket. He's got to be a little stronger there. And then on top of that, the pass rush for Dallas, they're finally making plays. They're finally getting some play from their defensive backs. That pick six last week, that was like the first pick six I can remember since like James Washington in the Super Bowl. So offense, both tight ends are contributing now. Pollard coming to his own as a backup running back. He's going to get a nice payday in a couple years. I think Dallas is scary on offense right now. How about them Cowboys? Dallas 34-20 over Carolina.
All right, Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, 11-3 in the Baker's dozen. You had a great week, including UFC. How do you build on all that this upcoming week, Lee? What do you do?
It's not October starting tomorrow at Paramount Sports. It's Locktober. You can get 31 days of action, 5 weeks, just $397. Or you want to get through the Super Bowl, $997, and we'll throw in baseball through the World Series and UFC through the end of the year, through December 31st. How do you hop on board? ParamountSports.com.
Terrific. And game of the week, back to college, right? You'll have that as well with Oklahoma State and Baylor.
Yeah, they want to get that game. Just call 800-400-9741. Call that number to get that game for free. 800-400-9741. I spotted something in this game. I think it's a dead bang winner. 800-400-9741 in the Paramount Sports website. You want to check it out. Other free pick videos. There's some other big games going on around the country. Iowa playing Maryland. That's a huge game. Cincinnati and Notre Dame. Check out those videos on the website, ParamountSports.com.
Great job as always, Lee. Talk to you next week. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Steve.